You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Chiropractic Rocks, The Goodman Factor, Digital Hustle, True Weight Solutions, The 100-Year Lifestyle, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Ultimate Entrepreneur Opportunity, and Chiro Pro Accounting. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 226 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I am your co-host, Luke Millette. Here is your host, Jim Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dave Major, and if you want to hear a really cool rap, stay tuned. Episode 226, Chiro Hustle podcast. Dave, Game Face, Major, and you're coming in from what part of this country?
Cleveland, Ohio. Well, south of Cleveland.
Cleveland rock, baby.
That's right, baby. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, welcome to our show again.
Thank you. It's been a while. I sound like a big time wrestler. Dave, Game Face, Major.
Yeah. In this corner, Luke and Jim coming in from Grand Junction, Colorado.
There you go. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
So it's been about 2 years since we've had you on.
Yes. Why so long? But you know what? It's great. Diversity is great. You have so many great people. I get to catch you, when I'm scrolling through. I have some time. Problem is sometimes I don't get on my calls. I'm like, oops, I was listening to Jim. I'm sorry. But anyway.
The best part, Dave, sometimes the best part?
Yes.
Some people think you're my dad.
Oh, hey, I'm honored. Thank you. I'd love to have a son like you. Yes. That's funny. Yeah, we could be. I mean, how old are you?
42.
Oh my gosh. My daughter's 43. So you could be my son. We just celebrated our 50th year of our first date. My wife and I, we took her brother and sister trick-or-treating back in 1970. And very strict Christian family, which I'm grateful for now. But I had my license, in April. And then that October, she still couldn't get in the car with me when we went on our first date until July. So I go 50 years and going on 47 years of marriage. So it's like, wow, I'm blessed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I always think about this. How many new patients could we go and schedule together?
Oh, yes. We challenge anybody out there listening. You get Dave Major and Jim Chester together, look out. Woo, man. That'd be awesome.
We'll schedule in the whole city, right?
Yes. Hey, we could have you on one end of the event, on the one side, me on the other side, all scheduling to one, like for like Matt Finney or somebody. That'd be great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. It's always good catching up with you and sharing our passion for chiropractic.
Yes, definitely.
So since our last interview, 2 years, what's been happening, man?
Well, yeah, the pandemic happened and, a lot of stuff's been going on, but I tell you what, it's caused me to kind of focus and restructure my situation, which is kind of great. I'm glad we have my young son out there, Jim Chester, Jim Chester Major / adopted son. Okay. But what I've done is been doing coaching. Last year I was in Nairobi, Kenya on TV talking about chiropractic. I was in Hong Kong. I have 2.5 million miles, and I'm turning 67, so I'm 3 years from 70. I don't see it though, no gray hair. I don't use Grecian form, but this is all gray, but this is not. But anyways, so I'm doing more coaching, Jim, because and Luke as well, that this day and age and what's been happening, which will be coming out of it shortly, is that we need to keep our head in the game and our game face on. Okay. I always say, embrace with grace the trials you face. All right. I sound like Muhammad Ali. Embrace the grace or the trials you face. So on my group, I have a group. How about that? At my tribe, I'm learning. It's called Inspire the Person, Impact the Profession. So on Friday, I do Faith on Friday. And that was my last a couple of days ago, embrace with grace the trials you face, because they're coming anyways. And you know what? I've always said God will take you where you don't want to go to get you where you need to be. I mean, it's so powerful. So even though it looks bad, like, oh, I don't want to go there, guess what? If we look at it with the right attitude and perspective, guess what? We come out even better than before. So it's all on our, and I used to say, life's 10% of what happens, 90% how you react. My buddy who's a doctor of theology, he says, no, it's 100%. It's 100%. What happens, 100% how I react. And it's true. So what I've been doing is, and it's accountability equals consistency. That's my new theme. Accountability equals consistency. And not just once a week, but every day. My clients, and I started coaching more in the personal, because look at my mission is inspire the person, then impact the profession. So people will Marco Polo me, say, I did my devotions. Here's what God told me. I looked over my reports and then got my new patient stuff together that you told me. And it's all these little things that they do every day. And it's changing their life after 25 years of being with many, 5 or 6 different coaching groups. They're like, I'm changing my behavior. And the reason I doing this is kind of funny, not funny. It's I like sharing things that I've experienced. Now I'm going to be really open, transparent, and it's just like probably shouldn't. My wife said I'm too open, but that's okay. I probably haven't read a full book in 20 years, but I get little bits and then put it away. In January, my buddy, who's a doctor of theology and a lawyer, we started accountability every day, reading a chapter of a book. I've been through 8 books already, 8 books. And it's like, wow. And, you go like, wait, that 275-page book is done. Like The Purpose-Driven Life and, David Pritt, How People Change, and good just spiritual stuff and other stuff. And like, wow. So I'm like, if it helped me being accountable to do something I never done before, then let me do that with the chiropractors about new patients, referrals. Most people are doing okay. They're still not like reactivating or doing new patient events. So, and it's, come on, let's get this event. Let's get it going. So the accountability of making them do it equals consistency equals productivity. Pretty simple.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool to hear how you're inspiring people. And what has your experience been working with this group of people that you're teaching one to inspire many?
Oh, my experience has been like you said it perfectly. You and I would go work for a chiropractor for the weekend or for a day. Well, guess what? I'm helping 5 or 6 now get fired up and do things every day times 5. I'm getting 30 in a week instead of 2 or 3 in a week. So it's multiplied. And what it is showed me is that, you know what? We need to start focusing on, and I call it, pruning the tree, trimming the tree. You got to prune it first. There's some things you just got to totally stop. And as you go through life and success, you need to keep reevaluate and pruning this and this, because what happens, those little things in your life suck away from the big fruit. And so I talk about 2 things. You got to go deep. Okay. Meaning that if you go out in my flower bed here, and if I just pull the weed off at the top, guess what happens? It comes back. So what are those things in your life that you haven't gone down deep to get to the root of the problem? Just like chiropractic, the causality of the subluxation. And if you don't get the root, it comes back up. So everybody goes, well, there it is again. Then they get defeated. They go, I shoulda, coulda, would, I should. And then they should all over themselves. No more. Come on. Let's start to grow. So go deep and get that. And then, but then the fruit that you have, make sure you prune the tree, trim the tree so more good fruit can come out, or the fruit there. And it is just amazing, because now even the wife called me and said, my husband's different. You got to have measurable outcome assessment, permanent change, not just do something good and then stop. Do something good. You want to continue the growth. And this is what the accountability factor is. That's the only way to be consistent in your personal life first, and then professionally. Because my favorite line, if you're not getting hugs when you're leaving the office and getting tugs, take care of your home, because it's affecting your business.
Well, over time, we've had access to some really important people in this chiropractic profession. And I look at you as one of the greatest advocates of chiropractic of all time. You and Keith Wasung, you guys are really like the trailblazers for this profession when it comes to going out there and telling the truth about the beautiful profession of chiropractic. So I just want to thank you so much for doing the heavy lifting early on to pave the way for guys like Luke and I.
Oh, it's our pleasure, and you know what? We didn't do it for a reason. We did because we were inspired, and chiropractic changed our life. And so, when you're on purpose, like we always say, it's like swimming downstream. If you don't have purpose, you don't have passion. Why do I still have passion? Why am I still fired up? Because it changed my life. It changed my wife, who had headaches, and even though she had some manipulation chiropractic, it helped a lot, but now she hasn't had she gets upper cervical specific. She hasn't had a headache in probably in 20 years. She had one or two migraines, and she used to have them every month. So, and when mama's not happy, no one's happy. So, my kids, my grandkids, when they're babies, they got adjusted. So, sometimes I remember Dr. Stuckey when I opened up the ICA convention in Toronto, goes, that chiropractor he just is that doctor. He's amazing. He got me fired up and all this. And he goes, I know you're looking at like, wait a minute, hey, the guy's crazy. He said he's not a doctor. Although Pat Janelle and Chris Kent gave me HDC. I'm an honorary doctor. He goes, hey, listen, I know what you're saying out there, but BJ says he that owns a big idea and teaches it is a doctor. And that man's more of a doctor than most of you out in the audience. I said, whoa, don't get them upset. So I always wanted to, thinking, should I be a chiropractor? My kids were like, junior high, pre-junior high, to move up. And I'm like, but I never forget. I get emotional. So if I cry, Irene Gold came up to me after 2 years ago, Mile High. And she never met me before, but Reggie and I, we kept running each other in the speaking circuit. And he goes, Dave Major, and I told the story and I didn't even know she was in the audience. I remember Reggie saying, when I vacillated, should I be a chiropractor? He goes, I'm glad you're not a chiropractor. I'm like, why? He goes, you're doing more for the profession being a non-chiropractor than you would being a chiropractor. And she come up to me and the biggest compliment, she goes, my husband was right. I'm glad you were not a chiropractor. He goes, because I'm sure you've embarrassed a lot of chiropractors in there. Like, I better get my stuff together because this man is so much more on fire than I am. Well, you know what? That's what my purpose has been, to ignite the chiropractic profession by the chiropractors and CAs and this coaching business. Some of it I have questions with other, but to me, I'm going to know this is needed. My 35 years of experience and being out in the highways and byways and 2.5 million miles in the air, I did it because I love it. I love what I did and I do what I love and I still love what I do. But now I'm taking it to a different level. And I'm telling you what, do you realize, I'll just start to cry, but how many people that if I can find, if 5 people today that I'm talking to get fired up and the energy attracts into their office, each, 5 more this week, that's 25 more people, just for today. So it could be a couple hundred a week by the time it just blows the mind. Because what goes into the mind goes into the heart. What goes into the heart comes out the mouth. So, you know what? People get off track. They start getting on. And I'm like, whoa. Get your head centered. Get your game face on. Armor up, baby. You're in a battle, spiritually, mental, physically. Let's go. And all of a sudden they stay on track. Well, that's what a plane guy, a pilot does, right? He just sits back and the plane goes off course. He just whoop, whoop. But what happens is all of a sudden the chiropractor gets so far off, they're off the radar, and then they get defeated. I'm like, no, before you get there, don't go like up and down. Let's keep going slowly. Keep going up. Keep on the path. That's what I'm talking about.
So what would you say are some of the most important things to happen to chiropractic in the last 10 years?
Well, a lot, man. There's been a lot. There's good and bad. Like Danny Knowles just said today about the art of chiropractic. That's what they're going to focus on at Mile High. I've seen a huge trend. A couple things. I've seen the older chiropractors that were Mercedes 80s. they were living that way. Like, I just have to say, hey, come on in, it's covered, to where now they had to switch and totally go into a new mindset. And I've seen the younger people come out knowing that there's not a lot of coverage. So I've seen a lot of education. But one thing I've seen that, and the other ones are stepping up, like George Curry, ICA president, him and I used to own some clinics together. We need more leaders to step up. We have Danny Knowles and, George Curry. And I've seen a decrease. We all hinged on, Sigafus and Reggie Gold and all the greats, but now they're gone. We have to have a resurgence of a new leadership in there. And, hey, I'll take part, even though I'm not a chiropractor, because this profession's the greatest. And people, we still need to educate, like you guys do and I do. Educate. Because again, you're talking about, I saw Jim this morning with this about, the attitude. He read the positivity thing. Your attitude determines your altitude, not your aptitude. Okay. It's the attitude that this is the greatest profession. We need to step up. And here's the one problem I see in the profession. Too many people just talkers. Like I read today in my devotion, I read a bunch of stuff. It's better saying well done than well said. You can say all you want, but we need action behind what we do. Okay. So there's been a lot of good and bad change. Well, like with anything, but you know what? Because I even ran into somebody the other day. This is sad. You still doing that chiropractic thing? He's a chiropractor. About 5 years ago, so he bailed and he's a security guard. I'm like, you know what? You got into it for the wrong reason. I always say, someone goes, I thought maybe you're retired and not helping people get new patients or bring people in chiropractic. I said, well, you know what? I looked into the Bible because I was like, I wonder what it says about that. And you know what it says about me retiring and just sitting in my easy chair? Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing. So I'm going to keep going. And I remember Reggie Gold looking at me. He got done in Oregon. It was the association. He was going home Sunday morning. He opened it and I was closing the seminar. And I said, Reggie, you look bad. He goes, I'm dying. He said, but I'd rather be, this is so powerful, and to be there, I'd rather die telling the story than sitting in my easy chair at home. And it's like, because that truly, he walked his talk. So we need chiropractors to walk their talk. We really saw a division, or we really saw the litmus test when this pandemic hit, with chiropractors who said one thing, but when it came, just shrunk and stayed at home. Others flourished. I just talked to a good Jeff Chamberlain, great guy, friend of mine. He's like flourishing. These people that have the mindset that, doesn't matter what's out there, it's matter what's in here. Okay, what we think about is what we bring about in our lives. So it's amazing to see the chiropractors on purpose, philosophically based, sound people, principled people are doing great. The other ones are scared. Well, then, it's a good time to say, do I really believe what I thought I believed? And if not, we need to get hooked up in all the great people you guys have on your program. People are like, you got to listen. You get a little bit from each person. And when you listen to you guys all the time, what's great out there, you chiropractors, you might just be at a low point. You really need to hear this message. You need to hear that aha, like, you know what? They're speaking to me. I need to do that, or I need to stop doing that. But I'm telling you what, to the benefits of chiropractic, come on. I mean, seriously, people go, you don't look almost 70. My grandson, you're 3 years from 70, Papa. I go, I don't feel it. I don't look like it. I have the Lord. I eat well, pretty good. And, I'd be lying. It's like, but now that I have my knee replaced, I've lost weight. I feel better. I got even more energy. My wife's like, oh no, more energy. But it's an investment, and people are not investing in their health. And now they're all freaking out about, the COVID. And I said, guess what? Did you get your flu shot? I go, what? I said, I haven't had a flu shot in 35 years. I never once had the flu. Okay. Our concept is the vessel, the temple here. You keep it healthy, and guess what? It's going to be healthy. Oh, I remember Fred Barge, loved Dr. Barge. He was a good friend of mine. We were super friends. He goes, the flies don't come and then the garbage comes. The garbage there, then the flies come. So when I read a thing about, well, there's a disease, this is years ago, going around this community in Africa, guess what? Who only got sick were the people that were unhealthy. The healthy people didn't get it. So again, we need to, we have a valuable message more than anything in the world, and we have to be out there telling it. But like my rap goes, some seeds may grow and others may not. Keep planting seeds is what you taught. You win some, you lose some. You can't refuse them because God is a gardener and he will choose them. Don't stop planting the seeds. So we're not responsible for these people's response, are we, Jim and Luke? We're responsible to tell the story with passion. And sometimes I get too passionate, so I'll have to say, when they I have 6 MRIs, no one can help me, and they never tried chiropractic. I said, listen, I'm all excited about this because it's wonderful, but don't mistake my passion for pushing this. If you knew what I knew, you would do what I'm telling you to do. Famous 3 words, chiropractors out there, check it out. I say, and people go, you're right. Check it out. Watch this. You have nothing to lose but your problem. Wow. It's like, yeah, check it out. But what happens, and you guys both know, and I know, chiropractors are terrible at screening. Most of them, there's some good ones out there, but they're like, oh, come in, we can help. You don't even know. Now, we know in our heart most of the time that 90%, let alone if we take x-rays or find something really, really bad, we probably can help them. But we're jumping the gun and sounding like a salesman by going, oh, we can help you for sure. Hey, I'll tell you if I can help you, and I'll tell you if I can't, but check it out. Well, I already went to that person. Well, did they do this? No. Well, not, So did you ever have a bad haircut, Jim? Well, did you stop getting your haircut? No, you went somewhere else. So if you don't have comebacks, and you guys all well know, so I don't care who comes at me with whatever, beep, 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 I get to deflect it easily because it's the truth. The truth will set you free. In marketing, we don't do any manipulation, no scare care. We just tell the story. Tell the story. And it resonates with people big time.
And wherever you go, Dave, you bring the greatest show in town.
Thank you.
That's the chiropractic truth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. It's really cool to see that you're still so enthusiastic about doing the work that you love. And I think they once said that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Oh, I don't. When we go to our condo, Marco Island, these people are like, oh, well, when are you going to retire? When are you going to quit? I'm like, I don't know. Like the one guy who retired at 59, big guy from Michigan. He's like, Matt, or no, what's his name? Anyways, Matt. Yeah, Matt. He goes, well, I retired at 59, man. When you retire, they think it's cool. I go, what did you do for the job? And he goes, well, for 40 years, I worked on the docks in Michigan in the cold at 4 a.m. and loading trucks all for 40 years. I go, like, really? I go around inspiring people with the message that the power to made in the body heals the body, that the central nervous system controls and coordinates every cell, tissue, muscle in your body and relates it to the environment. And emotional, physical, chemical stress causes a concentration, which refers to communication in your body. Poor communication, poor health, poor function. So structure determines function. I mean, as soon as my buddy told me 35 years ago, Dave, your shoulders are off, your neck's off. And then that's why my hand was numb. Long story short, my hands are going numb. I thought, wow, he's my best friend. And when it went away and it's like, oh my gosh, what can I do? We're going to do screenings. So we started talking. I went, oh my gosh. It was like God from heaven, like, when you're out on the outside, you're out on the inside. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So, I mean, my first screening, I'm going down. Now I'm seeing everybody different. Did you ever, Luke, get a new car and say, maybe you got your first whatever Jeep, and all of a sudden there's a Jeep. Now you're seeing all kinds of Jeeps because now you're aware of it. So I'm paying for gas to go down and do my first screening, and I'm looking at the kid. He thought it was weird. I kind of look over the corner down below by his belt. He's like, I go, you got scoliosis? He goes, yeah. How did you know it? I said, your head's this way, your shoulders the other way, and your belt line's going the other way. So I said, he goes, wow, that's amazing. So I go out and do my first screen, and this person's kind of like, oh, well. I go, oh, look at these people. Look at that head forward. Look at them dragging their foot. look at how messed up they are. And I said, man, I'm going to get like 30 people signed up. I never did a screening before in my life. I had scales and a plumb line. She goes, settle down. We get 2 or 3 on a Saturday. I go, you see what I see? I see dead people. So what they're walking around like, you ever see them, Jim, go by like, I'm okay. I'm like, oh, really? Did you look in the mirror? Whatever. It's like, holy smokes. It's crazy. So I end up with 35 people signed up. I kind of just said, okay, you go do your thing. I don't want your negativity on me. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, how's it going? And boy, I just told the story. It was simple, but we complicate it too much, don't we, Jim? Not us. Not us.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Chiropractic Rocks, The Goodman Factor, Digital Hustle, True Weight Solutions, The 100-Year Lifestyle, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Ultimate Entrepreneur Opportunity, and Chiro Pro Accounting. Let's hustle.
I've always loved hearing about what you were doing before I ever got into doing what I do. And they're like, you have to go meet this guy. You have to go see this Dave Major guy. And I think we were both up in Broomfield one weekend, and you were doing an event, and I just sat there, and I was just like anybody else. I was observing, and I saw how you were interacting with people. And I was also doing an event for another chiro, so I was away from my booth. But I sat there and I watched you, and I observed. And then I came up and I said, hey, I don't know if you know who I am, but my name is Jim Chester, and it's just really nice to meet you. I heard that you were coming to this event, and it was really just something very simple for me. But when I knew that you were somebody that had been before me, and I was still, spinning plates with my feet and with my hands and fingers and nose. And I'm trying to figure out how to do my best job to help my client. But it was just really cool to see how you're interacting with people. And that was probably like 7 years ago. But it was honorable for me to see somebody that came before me and that was doing the work that people told me that I was, kind of walking the same path as you. And I had no idea who you were. But I heard this legendary Dave Major was at the same event as me. So I came up and I introduced myself and watched you do some work. And yeah, it was just really cool to see how you would have the girls out there doing the paperwork with the guy or the clients. And then they would eventually bring you over the person after they've been warmed up a little bit. And then you had a chance to work with them and schedule them. And then you pass them on to the next person and they would actually put them on the books. But it was really cool to see the process that you ran. And I had a chance to observe that as just, somebody that didn't know what the hell you were doing. Like I didn't use technology. So to see how you were interacting with people with technology, it was really cool to see. And then I was just like, well, if I can figure out what Dave's doing, then I can help more people. And I went on to do really good work after I saw what you were doing. And it was just really, to me, it was inspiring. And the connection after that point, we just been really good friends. So that event was something that kind of opened my eyes to what we could accomplish moving forward.
Thank you. Yeah. And you know what, even without technology, it's all about connecting with the people. Someone says, you connect so quickly with people. I said, well, number one, I love people. And I said, and that's all about you gotta connect with them and then move them along. And like one time this is a great story. This is how simple it is. I'm at Manitowoc County Fair. How you can remember fairs, and I've been in Alaska too, in Homer, Alaska. But the guy goes by and he's just like, it's just beginning. It just opens up, say at 4:00 in the afternoon, so there's hardly anybody there. He walks by out Chiropractic. Oh boy, you don't know what you're doing, buddy. You said that to me. I said, hey, come here. He's about 36 years old. I go, why would you say that? What's the why behind it? Well, you got to keep coming. I said, do you know why? He goes, no. I said, let me ask you a question. This literally took less than 5 minutes. I said, do you have stress in your life? Chemical, emotional, physical? He said, oh, yeah. how long have you had it? He goes, for a long time. I played sports and stuff. And I said, so did I. Played football against Jack Lambert, Nick Saban in the 70s, at Toledo, being a fullback. And I said, so stress causes a misalignment. So I took his hand. And I'm always a jokester, I said, give me your finger. I'm not going to pull your finger. Don't fart, and he just kind of chuckled. I said, so if you had no stress in your life, had the perfect life, lived in a bubble, and I turned the finger nice and easy, I said, all right, is this a good thing? Would your disc and everything last a long time, nice and easy? He goes, oh, yeah. But I said, you have stress, right? He goes, yeah. I said, for 20 years, at least 20. So 20 years of stress, and I torqued it and turned it, and it's like, I said, so is that a good thing or a bad thing? He goes, that's a bad thing. I said, so if you get adjusted, chiropractor finds a subluxation, a misalignment, fancy word is called subluxation, and it restores normal function, which then doesn't disturb the nerves going to your cell, tissue, muscle, and organ. But what happens is you're going to have stress how much longer down in your life? We go all my life. So what happens is that's going to start to come back. But if you get chiropractic, I kept torquing it, then letting it go, torquing it. Wouldn't you rather have your spine move like this? He goes, well, like this, I swear. Well, why would anybody ever stop getting adjusted? He didn't know why. No why, no comply. That's one of my favorite sayings. No why, no comply. They're not going to comply to coming in if they don't know the why behind it. So, he signed up. I didn't even put him on a I just explained the why you get adjusted, and get adjusted on a regular basis. Well, we had technology to say we kind of show you improvement, but no why, no comply. So it's all about the presentation of the information. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it is. You present it, and if they go, 3 most powerful words, that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense to them, I don't care if you're giving away a Ginsu knives and a full-length picture of Dave Major to hang in your bedroom, you're not going to sign up to come in. But if you know the why behind it, you're going to sign up and come in, and you're going to check it out. It's simple. But then you got to make sure the people that you're working with, like you saw in the front end and back end, are on the same page. Because like a lot of times, because we usually collect a donation and make it more, secure. And I asked the one time, like, hey, how you doing? Well, no one's paid yet. And I'm like, what? Because they're all excited. Here's the presentation information. She'd get the appointment, get all set up, go, do you want to pay? No, I don't want to pay. Now watch this. All we need to do is collect the money. It would be cash, check, or credit card. Okay. Oh, you want? Okay. Boom. So you got to have all these little things in sync to have a great screening. So I get excited. I mean, I want somebody to get Jim Chester and Dave Major to your town if you want to make a difference. Okay, definitely. All right, we want to make a difference. Luke, you can come too if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, could you maybe tell us who are some of your heroes? Who are your mentors? Who do you look up to?
Very good question. Sigafus and Reggie were very good friends of mine, and I looked up to them and all their work in the field. Chiropractically right now, George Curry, ex-ICA president. A lot of people know George Curry. George Curry hired me in 1990 because he was doing a Shad Derby Day, big event in town square. He goes to Sigafus. I don't know anything about screenings. Do you have anybody that's really good? He goes, Dave Major. So we've been friends since 1990. He's an amazing chiropractor. You can look him up. He speaks at Palmer a lot. He's a Palmer grad. 5 out of 6 kids or 7 kids are chiropractors from Palmer. They graduated. Let's see who else. Oh gosh, man, that's. I would say George Curry. Also, oh my gosh, some of the old ones are gone already. So, I tell you, Fred Barge was an amazing guy. All the scoliosis work he did. And Dr. Barge was amazing, a doctor that was a big inspiration in my life. And then, there's some really great ones out there that I really look up to, and they're friends like Paul Reed in Washington, Vancouver. Matt Hubbard has done a lot of great work in our field. Chris Zano's a friend of mine. Chris was in college when I did the clinic camp. So he was a student when he heard me speak. So Chris Zano. And then geez, I know I'm going to miss somebody. So if I do, I apologize. But some of these that are now stepping up to be great leaders because of the old ones that passed. So there's a good handful. I'm the kind of guy, like, I take a lot from a lot of people that I know are successful. Even though I'm successful, if you don't continue to grow, you start to die. So, but those are a good handful. And if I miss anybody, I'm sorry.
So I have a bit of a tricky question for you.
Sure.
If you had to pick one thing about yourself to improve, what would it be and why?
Okay. I'm learning the hard way now, but to be more organized. My personality is just not to be organized. And my wife, the yin and the yang, her desk is over there, my desk is over here. She has been my secretary, if you will, or my co-partner in business. She's never bounced a check in 47 years. She's more organized. And what's my personality? I'm a driver, expressive, but that be the one thing that I feel really good because I'm actually getting a handle on it, which, this thing of accountability, that's where I started the whole thing of being more accountable. When you're in your own business, and a lot of doctors, and you agree, Jim, when no one's telling you what to do is above you, you kind of do what you want to do. But I feel if you're organized and have accountability, no matter if you're the big shot or not, we all need mentors and stuff. So being organized really helps my life be less stressful and more productive. So that would be it. Okay.
Well, hearing what you say, Dave, reminds me a lot of myself because I'm the king of organic and I'm a promoter and I'm constantly vision casting on how we can make the profession better and how we can make our positions grow and how we can, create better content to push the message quicker and to connect with more people. So I am so much like you. And if it wasn't for the loyal team that I've been able to
Yes.
teach to support the profession with me, I always tell people from this point, it's not about me. I'm just the catalyst. And I've brought together a group of impassioned individuals that have something that they believe in. And that's the mission of chiropractic. So being able to connect with you, and like you mentioned earlier, all the other amazing interviews that we've been able to have onto our show. And it might not be somebody watching the whole show, but they might watch for 2 minutes and they might take one thing that you said, or they might take something that on Wednesday we interview Bruce Lipton. It might be something that Bruce Lipton says, or it might be something that Les Brown said, or Grant Cardone, or it might be something that when we get Gary Vaynerchuk on our show, it might be something to that level that one of these like world influencers says something about chiropractic, that then chiropractic takes one step closer to becoming more mainstream accepted. And what I hear about what you're saying is without your wife being by your side, you wouldn't be the man that you are today with the position that you hold. And without my team and the people that support what we do, we would not be where we are right now without the impassioned people that say, you know what, you guys are documenting this profession. You know what, you guys are telling the story. You know what, you guys are doing great work and you guys are so consistent that you don't need accountability. Like the profession needs accountability for you now. And
right.
I think that that's what we're doing is we're leveraging media like it's never been done before. And we're so consistent with the programming of it and getting people like you on with us. That builds our street cred. That builds our cultural authority. That builds our social atmosphere on social media, which gives us the programming to be able to connect the future generations of chiropractic with the people like yourself, which is, the old guard. And now we're able to actually bring you on as one of our guests and celebrate each other. And somebody's going to watch us and it's going to land on their heart. And they're going to be like, wow, a couple advocates together talking about chiropractic and this thing called the big idea, and all else follows. And I think that when people see what we're doing right now today, what is it, November 9th, 2020, that one day in the future, this will be in a time capsule and somebody will open up the vault and they'll say, what was Luke and Jim and Dave Major talking about that day? And they'll open up the vault and they'll hear this message of chiropractic during what you called the pandemic. And that's what we're in right now is we're in a pandemic that's determined to make chiropractic great. and it's determined to make chiropractic the most accessible healing art out there. So they don't know what they're doing, but they're going to make chiropractic step forward and to serve more people, because people are going to demand a better quality of life with a higher functioning lifestyle, and chiropractors are the ones that can deliver that to people.
Amen. That's so true. I mean, you need someone like Luke. You can't have two people like yourself. Nothing ever get done, you know. So you need some organization in that, and it's totally needed. I mean, you know what they asked me at the last interview for somebody that's like, put yourself back. You know, go in a time capsule. You're 20 now, and now you're 20, but you know everything you know now. What would you do different? You know, and with all the ups and downs of life, I go, not, I wouldn't do anything different. I do the same. I said, trials and tribulations work with patience. The person I am today with my wife, and I do a faith on Friday on my site, you know, about a brain tumor. My wife almost died. We just had our baby, and she almost died. And then my wife had a second baby, and the pregnancy was even worse because the tumor was out, but she only gained 8 pounds. And my son was born and was a minister now and teaching lives and just being amazing. So all those things happened, but it made me who I am. You know, it made me who I am, and that's what we got to go. We're gonna go. Life's gonna hit you hard. I loved you. You ever see Rocky's talk with his son? I love that. It's not how hard you get hit, but it's how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. That's what life's. You know, that's what life's about. Now know what you're worth and go out and get what you're worth. So every time I do birthdays every day because I got over 11,000 people on Facebook. I always give them birthday things, you know, little blessings, and they go, "Thank you." I go, "You're worth it. You're worth it." You know, and so know what you're worth and go out and get what you're worth. But don't sit around giving excuses. Excuses are like smelly socks. Everyone has one, and they all stink. So quit with the excuses. Like my coach used to say, if and buts were candy and nuts, every day be a Merry Christmas. No more ifs and buts, baby. No more ifs and buts. So, you know, get up every day, get your game face on, armor up in the Lord, and be ready mentally, physically, and spiritually to take on the day like a champion. Not like, you know, I go sit on the bench then. If you don't want to get in the game, you know, I don't care if you win or lose, but if you get in the game and it feels good to get in there, man. But if you want to be I don't want spectators. I want participators. That's what I want. You want to participate? Please jump in. So it's not how good you are, it's how bad you want it. That's what I'm talking about.
What would be some advice you would give to a struggling chiropractor or chiropractic student if you wanted to ignite them and fire them back up? What would you suggest?
Okay, that's a very good question. That's very much needed. What I would say to them is like, okay, and most chiropractors get in for the right reason. So I would say, why did you become a chiropractor? And they would say probably things like, because I want to help people or it changed my life. Okay, so what is, you know, a lot of times what we do is we just start talking a lot without questioning Socratically. I said, well, what is holding you back? It's usually fear of rejection. So I would say to them, listen, you're not responsible for a person's response. You're responsible to say with passion and conviction and certainty what you know, because people buy people. A lot of times they're not even hearing what you're saying. They're looking at the physiology and the tonality of the voice. You know, I can give someone a script and they can go, "You really need to come in because I really feel I can help you." What? Hey, come on, check it out, man. What do you have to lose? I'm committed to 10 to help you. So I would say, don't fear rejection. I then showed the opposite side. If you do fear rejection and don't speak up, guess what? If that person goes under the knife and something bad happens, then let me tell you something, you're going to regret that. Would you rather be rejected and feel like they rejected you, which is not you, it's a message, or hear that they didn't try chiropractic and overdosed on a drug or got hooked on opiates, you know? So again, I think what they think, they always, they how can I say, they rate their effectiveness on how many people, you know, that they can convert, but it's not about that. It's about, they need to know that it's just continue to tell the story. So one I'd say, don't fear. They're not rejecting you. It's not about you anyways, but it's about the message. They need to hear the message. By the time you're 18 years of age, guess what? You've heard 20,000 hours of drug commercials. 20,000 hours. So you think they've been brainwashed? We have a message, and if you truly believe the message, and here's another thing, then also not only the message, but when you're talking to people, you think you got to convert them right there. You say, "Let me see if I can help you. Let me see if I can help you." So they think marketing is selling. It's not. It's making people aware of what you do. So I would say, what's your position statement? I tell you what, you should see when people do their position and purpose statement, they get so empowered. They don't just say, I'm a chiropractor. I help sick people get well and keep them well. I help infants to elderly experience optimum health. That you have to know, you have to have a purpose and know that verbally. And when you talk to people, I don't say I'm a motivational speaker. Catch me in the van down by the river. I got a huge speaking engagement at Phillips Lighting. Why? The guy said, "What do you do?" I go, "I empower lives to impact life." He just went, "Wow. Wow." I just positioned myself as somebody that makes a difference. I didn't say I'm a motivational speaker. You would have thought of Chris Farley or Tony Robbins. So they don't know who they are. They're scared. So young, struggling chiropractors, they just need to say that, hey, everyone has the same problem coming out. They don't have experience yet. But let me tell you, why'd you become one? Great. You became to help people. Well, helping number one is educating them. Then see if you can help them. If you can, you can. You're not going to help everyone. Just kind of settle down, take a deep breath. That's what I would say.
So the last one I want to wrap up with is, do you currently have any specials or deals or promotions going on that people should take advantage of? And where can people go if they want to learn more about you?
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Yes. See, that's what my problem been my whole life. I'm like, I don't even worry about selling to the end or whatever, or telling people what I can do. So thank you for that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, number one, of course, I'll always do a free consultation, but I got a ridiculous special on this coaching since I'm starting out. So there's a special on my coaching, and it's a 6-month program. After 6 months, you can do whatever you want. I'm not signing up for 2, 3, 4 years. If you want to continue, that's fine. So there's a 6-month coaching. Now I have two options. There's two kinds of coaching. Number one, I'm working with Mike Gandolfi, my old wellness marketing coach. We did wellness marketing years ago, 20 years ago. Mike's a couple years younger, where like Dave Jackson, Tony, not Tony Ebo, but Lyle Coca, all these guys, when they were young in practice, were in my wellness marketing. So if somebody needed about reports and doctor stuff, we have a coaching team together, him and I. But if you want just personal coaching with me, I have a special going on where if they sign up in November, there's 1 month free. So they get 7 months of coaching for a 6-month price, and it's very affordable. And so the first step is to, contact me, either join my group, which is Inspire the Person, Impact the Profession. Okay, that's that. If you want to go to my website, it's Dave, and I'm Majors, Mager, DaveMajorGameface.com. Go to my website and check me out more if you want to. Okay, and the email is the same, DaveMajorGameface@gmail.com. But contact me, and they'll probably put my phone number there. And we'll just have a conversation, 15, 20 minutes, see what is going on and what you choose to decide. And then we'll go from there. If you don't, that's fine. I would love to just have you in my group because I'm doing videos all the time and Faith on Friday, and you can learn from me if you change your mind later. But so that's a special 1 free month right now, and you get 7 months of coaching for a price of 6 with just me, daily accountability, or you can join myself and Dr. Gandolfi. Although also I do, sorry, did I say do? Yeah, I do chiropractic stuff too. I mean, I can do reports. People have the insight. You guys have seen the scanner, right? The Insight Millennium. A lot of people don't know that the symmetry chart, spike chart, I created and developed. That was me. So I'm co-developer of that technology, even though Dr. Fletcher has it now. I'm co-developer, and my number one poster, if you've seen it before, Feeling versus Function, the circle of the small part pain. I have that's my development, and I know Keith Wasson likes it too. So I have some good visuals on my website, which you'll see. But again, please call me for a free consultation. We'll talk. But if you need more personal stuff, that's what I'm doing. And if anybody's been a total solution, you know what I do personally of letting go of stuff, because we can't be healers if we have stuff in our lives that's blocking the above, down, inside, and out flow that God has put in there. And some people might hear me talk about a God lot, and I'm not into like religions. I'm into relationship with God, and He's most important. So it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Lutheran, Orthodox, whatever. We are not a human being with a spiritual part. We're spiritual beings in a human body. So we're not human doings. We're human beings. Okay. So there's a spiritual aspect, but I don't beat you up with the Bible, so don't worry about that. But God is number one. My family's number two. My job's number three. That's why I've been married 47 years with beautiful kids and 7 grandkids. And, I owe all it to God, and I need to give Him the glory. So, yeah, I'd love to talk to you. And even if you don't sign up with me, that's fine. But I'm telling you what, I have seen you'll never have coaching like this and never have a change within the first 2 months like you've never had before with what I'm doing. It was godly inspired. So, hey, it can't go wrong. Commit your plans to the Lord and they will succeed.
Well, all right, Dave, that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. And I want to thank you for being our guest once again.
You're worth it. Oh, but we got to get our game face on. I always end everything by going 1, 2, 3, and all 3 of us go game face. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Game face. There you go. All right. Get your head in the game face on. And I always say you're worth it. So thank you so much, everybody. You should hook into these guys. They have wealth of knowledge, and we will go do an interview when somebody, I'm saying in faith, forsaking all I trust Him, someone's going to hire both of us, and we're going to have a mega event this year, and we're going to have you on to tell the world what they missed.
All right, Dave. Love and appreciate you. God bless you. And have a great rest of your day, okay?
Yep. You and Luke do the same. Bye-bye.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.